Oh, delicious.
Did you eat any of the muffins? Or I saw you eat like one of their Egg McMuffins or something, didn't you?
Yeah, it was something. Yeah.
It's an all-new, terrific Tuesday edition of Business Bands, joined by Analyst Hole, Matt Moscardi. Now, someone in the audience at CII wanted to ask what the hell is an analyst hole, but the question didn't get through. It was censored.
It was censored.
Which part is gross? The analyst part?
No, it's definitely the whole.
On today's stakeholder acupuncture session that nobody asked for, called March 17th, 2026, Biz Nuggets!
Yay! I'm
you're
the only one clapping. I'm clapping of one person.
Our show today is being sponsored by Free Float Analytics and FreeFloatAnalytics.com, the only platform measuring board power connection and performance for free. That's terrible business strategy.
I've talked to the owners.
Even Google has ads.
I know.
We're just running things for free.
Yeah, everything's free. Yeah.
Are you ready for some Biz Nuggets? I know you have places to go. You're a busy boy today. Come on.
I'm
ready?
less busy than you are. You're the busy boy. But yeah, let's do it.
You want to pretend to have fun? You want to pretend to try to make someone laugh?
I would like to find humor in some of the most heinous people and or things we can.
Well, I'm looking at my first joke, and the first word of my first joke is asshole.
All right,
That's
we're
not
off to a good start. Good.
And I'm not even the one who swears. That's you. All right, let's go. In our asshole is selfish. Headline of the week. Billionaire Uber co-founder Travis Kalanick admits strategically moving to Texas before California wealth tax. Yay!
Yeah. All right.
This is, I was doing some research on him. He is the easiest former CEO to find controversies on. This guy is a real dirtbag. And the one I picked for this to demonstrate this headline was that. Do you remember that he was caught on camera as the CEO of Uber? When the Uber driver was telling him about, he was talking about the falling fares and the company's treatment of drivers. The CEO said to the driver, "Some people don't like to take responsibility for their own shit."
Yeah, he did say that. And he
said to
pointed at him and was angry, and yeah.
And now he's just happily evading taxes.
Well, apparently too, in the meeting in which the Uber staff was trying to talk to him about containing this problem.
Yeah.
He screamed at the heads of communications who were what we're trying to figure out a strategy to do this.
Probably women.
Yeah, two women, and he said basically you guys are the incompetent failure. Right? He's a class act all the way around.
Class act. Let's move on. In our top snarky podcast hosts.
Is that us?
I don't know. I'm just reading the headline. Plead with airline companies to stop the share buyback bullshit and pay airport workers. Headline of the week. Once again, air travel CEOs are... Oh, well, I completely botched this.
You got two headlines of the weeks.
I don't know what I did here. I'll do it again. In our once again, air travel CEOs are bullshit artists headline of the week. Top airline CEOs plead with Congress to restore DHS funding and pay airport workers. What the quote is, once again, air travel is the political football, end quote. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Now,
yeah,
I did some quick math here. Okay, first of all, there are roughly 50,000 airport screeners working for the TSA. That salary and benefits is about $300 million per month. Okay, let's start with that. And I think the shutdown has almost lasted a month, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Very quick cursory research. I didn't go in an exhaustive search. Very quick. Southwest repurchased $2.6 billion of its own shares last year, and then $400 million already this year. United, $1.5 billion. In fact, the top 5 NEOs, named executive officers at United, made about $100 million last year. Scott Kirby alone owns $100 million in shares and got $35 million in pay. Now, let's not forget that when this shutdown ends, they're going to get paid retroactively.
Yeah,
so these stupid airline companies could actually just pay them and then say to the government, pay us back when
back.
it's over.
Yeah.
This, I mean, on my mind, there's smoke coming out of my brain. Honestly, they're not allowed to do this. This is not. They're not allowed to play.
Oh, they're allowed to.
Political theater here, but everyone buys it because nobody looks into the details. Everybody buys
Look,
it.
some people don't like to take responsibility for their own shit.
This is crazy to me. Just pay them. They're gonna get paid back. Just pay them. All right. Whew. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna calm down.
That was
In
like
our
4 headlines in one, too.
Yeah, I don't know what I did there. And our pervy owner does pervy stuff, and everybody is fake shocked. Headline of the week. It was going to be Magic City night at the Atlanta Hawks. Then the outrage poured in. So, okay, here's the background. The Atlanta Hawks had a night honoring a local strip club.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a kind of like a bobblehead thing, but it was with a strip club.
Yeah.
So there started to be some pushback. And then I looked like, well, who exactly owns these Atlanta Hawks? Whose idea was it to have a night honoring a strip club at a game where, you bring your family to the game, right? I mean, that's the way sports works. It's a guy named Tony Ressler. He founded the private equity firm Apollo Global Management with Leon Black. Leon Black, it turns out, paid Jeffrey Epstein up to $160 million for financial planning many years after Epstein's 2008 conviction for soliciting an underage girl. And to be clear, let's not pretend that Ressler and Black are intimately connected, because Tony Ressler is the brother-in-law of Leon Black, because Leon Black is married to his sister, Deborah. So these are the pervs running the... I just wanted to point some of this out.
Well,
Again, lost in all of the stories about this is this pervy fact.
honestly, this seems like the quaintest thing that happened
Why
this
can't
week.
they cover anything, though, from like a detail beyond,
Name one human being who actually made the decision to
Right.
do a thing.
yeah, let's just make fun of a strip club and then just forget the story from there. All right. I'm a little heated up today. I don't know why.
Yeah, you're fired up.
Yeah, I gotta calm down. In our this one will calm me down. In
No, it
our
won't.
college dropout tech bro ignores actual experts. Part 17 million. Headline of the week. OpenAI's own mental health experts unanimously opposed naughty ChatGPT launch.
Can we just dwell on the word unanimous?
Okay,
Does that happen anymore?
first of all, who knew this? They have their own council of safety experts, and these
No,
are yeah. Go ahead.
We reported this.
I didn't know
We
this.
reported
This is like the
because-
Facebook board, the oversight
this
board that
is
nobody
their
cares about.
version of the Facebook Gaslight.
But what's the point if you don't listen? There should be a bylaw that says, "Look, I'm Sam Altman. I'm better than you. It's only I matter. They tried to fire me. I didn't pay attention. But if it's a unanimous vote, I'll go with that one.
Not
It's
going to happen.
unanimous.
So the point, if you're asking what the point is,
Yeah.
is to say that you have a safety council, not to do what the safety council suggests.
Well, thank God for Section 230, because this is the kind of thing where he should be held liable for everything. That he rejected the expertise of his 8-member board. Now, let me tell you why he probably did turn down their opinion, because there's here's the problem with the board. First of all, there's only one person from Stanford. That's not enough.
What?
And there's 4 women. It's half women. That's too much. That's too many women.
They couldn't find anybody else from Stanford?
I know, it's just weird. Let's move on, and then I'll hand it off to you. In our petulant man-child with no regulatory or societal guardrails screws up again and bails himself out with shareholder money from a different company. Headline of the week. Elon Musk admits XAI wasn't built right. That's his quote. As only 2 co-founders remain and its biggest AI bet stalls out. I'm going to remind you the facts here. He took over Twitter.
Yeah, I remember that.
The next day, he had fired half of the staff. It's about 4,000 people. And then he threatened them with extremely hardcore memo. Remember, you got to be extremely hardcore.
Yeah, we're gonna go hardcore.
And then about a month later, he had fired 80% of the employees. And then he brought on his 12 hand-picked, studly geniuses to help him rebuild it.
Yeah, they do a
10
lot
of
of
tho-
push-ups. Yeah.
10 of those people are gone, and now he's admitting that they didn't build it right. And the backdrop of this is that he made his other company, Tesla, invest $2 billion of shareholder money into XAI because
Congratulations,
he
shareholders.
sucks.
Yeah. You know what? Tesla,
Again, nobody covers the story with accuracy. Yeah.
Tesla might not have made that investment if not for the advice of Kimball Musk.
That's
so,
right. And the very independent Robin Denholm, who has made
They
about
didn't-
$400
they
billion.
didn't show up in this story? How did they not?
I mean, what a bungling failure. It never ends. But give me a break here. I'm getting overheated. Why don't
All
you
right.
take over?
I'll give you a few. In the world's most, in fact, I'm going to just pick up where you left off. The world's most stable billionaire announces a billionaire to all other billionaires ratio of 693 to 1.
Oh,
Headline
no.
of the week.
I know where this is going.
Elon Musk is now worth more than the bottom 693 billionaires combined.
I mean, think about that. Think about it.
How insane is that?
Tesla sucks. XII sucks.
Nothing he's
Twitter
made
sucks.
is actually his or any good.
Yeah.
What he's good at is like having a network of Peter Thielian evil friends who raise money for him.
I was reminded yesterday, and I know you probably remember this. I forgot this. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk come from the exact same region of South Africa.
PayPal. Oh,
They come from the
really?
same part of
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Maybe that's a lie. I was told by someone. Maybe he was messing
Probably
with me.
Gemini that's lying about them.
That's probably true. Yeah. Keep going.
All right.
Now I feel better now.
This will make you feel slightly better.
All right.
In news celebrated worldwide, older women announce a please save us from tech bros to asshole ratio of 64 to 1.
Whoa.
Here's the headline of the week. Here's the headline. Older women set to inherit most of 54 trillion in great wealth transfer to widowed spouses.
Is that right? Did you do your
Yeah.
math wrong? Did you screw up your math there?
64 times Elon Musk's.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
That would be.
saying.
Wouldn't that be 54?
Is it 54? No, 64 because Musk is worth 890,
Oh.
830
He's not worth a
billion.
trillion yet.
He's not worth a
Loser.
trillion yet, so he's not
Is
even
that?
there.
Is that? I always think that's clickbaity. Those headlines. That's true because
All I'm
women
saying-
outlive their spouses so much. Is that?
Yeah, because they outlive their. All I'm saying is that
Men
we've
are
got,
pigs who eat processed cheese.
so like the average life expectancy of men is like 75 years old, and the average
Yeah.
life expectancy of women is like 77 or something. So that
Oh,
means
it's
we've got a
that close.
2-year window or like a 3-year window
To
max
be rich without your
to just
boring
have
partner.
women have all the money. Like they
All right.
need to. Like I'm hoping they're all like really like lucent and like on
Yeah.
it and they can basically get rid of all the billionaires.
They can invest
in the 2
in-
years they have all the money.
They can invest in like crypto and like Doge coins or whatever.
Yeah, thank God. That's the best financial advice I've ever heard. All right, let's go back to something you mentioned at the top.
Yeah.
In our asshole wants you to know he is still here. Headline of the week. Quote, I never left. Travis Kalanick launches new robotics company Atoms with manifesto.
Wait, did you copy my asshole? We
I
both
did
just
not.
we both came to
We
asshole.
both became an asshole.
independently.
I mean, he's such an
We
asshole.
need a metric in our database for
Here's
assholiness.
Here-
Assholery? Yeah. Go ahead.
We can add that flag. Here is a quote from the Atoms website. The robotics company Atoms. Apparently, it doesn't make humanoid robots. It's not like robots that walk around and like change your light bulbs. It is like manufacturing robots. It's sort of like they call them foundational robots or something. Here's the
Okay.
quote from the website.
Atoms.
This is what Travis
Pretentious
Kalanick
name. Adams.
wrote
ATOMS. Yeah.
ATOMS. This is what he wrote down.
Pretentious as hell.
At Atoms, we make gainfully employed robots.
What?
Specialized robots with productive jobs that bring abundance to their owners and society at large.
Oh, so we're just like destroying the working class? Is that what we're doing?
What he basically said
I don't
with
yeah.
that line on the website
Sounds
is
very Star
we
Wars.
fire you and give
Yeah.
that money to their owners. He says to their owners.
This is
He's
the dystopian vision of Star Wars, right? Where they have clone armies. No,
It's
isn't this
worse
the same
than
thing?
that because at least the clone armies were actually human. Like,
no, it's worse than that because that's a movie, Matt. That's made up.
Sorry, my bad. In our company founder announces major stealth mode company perk is stealthy sexual harassment. Headline of the week.
Oh, God, yeah.
Travis Kalanick
Oh.
sees benefits of being in stealth mode for 8 years. Quote, you build a culture of people that want to build and do not need to be famous.
Oh, so he's just hiding. He's lurking and hiding and being a horrible creep.
Okay, when he was at Uber, there's a book about this.
Yeah, he
Super
broke
pumped.
laws. He broke regulations. He created a bro culture, sexual harassment.
Yeah, that's right. Internal to
Everything.
Uber,
I-
it was
that's
all
just the start.
like.
That's just the start of the problem.
I mean, you can't possibly document it here.
he was so bad that they got rid of the dual class shares and they got rid of him.
and him,
which never happens. Which
That
never
never
happens.
has happened in the
No.
history of ever. And in fact, in 2017 when he left, it suffices to say this wouldn't happen again, right? Like that guy would still IPO.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's who Elon Musk
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah.
Right?
Is he allowed? Were there any actually like future-facing penalties for him? Is he allowed to IPO again and have a public company?
Of course.
Okay.
He's
So
got
there's
billions
no-
of dollars. What does he care?
So the real punishment was what? That he had to leave Uber because he didn't they didn't take his shares away.
They took like the more billions he would have had if he had
Oh,
stayed
whatever.
at Uber.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do one more and then I'll hand it back
Yeah.
to you. In our Christmas, St. Patrick, Mel Gibson,
Oh.
and Casper the Friendly Ghost
Hmm.
have reportedly filed complaints with the EEOC. Headline of the week.
Okay.
Nike and Coca-Cola cases point to the next DEI fight. Who gets to claim discrimination?
So you're saying if I discriminate against Mel Gibson for being a horrible neo-Nazi, I'm
You're the
I'm at
discriminator.
fault. Yeah.
So now what we're basically finding is because the EEOC has been taken by Trump toadies and like unqualified assholes who are out actually looking for white men who feel discriminated against at work. Now, finally, Mel Gibson can file a discrimination claim against anybody who won't work with him. Finally.
I mean, this is part of a broader plan. I just read a report yesterday that Erica Kirk, you know, the widow of the wonderfully horrible Charlie Kirk, is going around
the terrible racist asshole.
saying
Yeah.
to white men, she said, quote, "Don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man." This is the whole playbook.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
scary. I don't know. I'm sorry. It's
You do
very
some
like
more.
it's
You
very
gotta
scary.
do some
It's
more.
very-
Make
yeah,
me
I gotta
actually
calm down.
giggle with the
Okay.
next group.
This one might, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do these with like a bit of fresh air. In our Sheryl Sandberg says,
Oh,
if I could have worked at Facebook, things would have turned out differently. Headline of the week. Sheryl Sandberg says, Silicon Valley's hyper-masculine rhetoric is terrible, contributing to one of the worst corporate climates she's ever seen.
if only she had the chance.
I don't know if I mean, I gotta giggle at that one, right? I mean, it's not her fault,
It's
but it's not her fault.
no, but like, it's sad because
It's
she
sad.
was at Facebook because she was basically Zuckerberg's mom.
And she did a good
Zuckerberg-
job, actually. He became much worse
Way
after
worse
she left.
After
Yeah.
she left, like apparently we are now seeing what Mark Zuckerberg is without mom around, right? Like the real Mark Zuckerberg.
Ugh.
Because on her way out, Zuckerberg was talking about how nice her skin was. Like he was just a fucking weirdo. He's so gross.
In our explosive messages show Live Nation thinks customers are stupid, board member Richard Grinnell demands credit for same observation. Headline of the week.
Ooh.
Live Nation directors mock customers in explosive just released messages, saying they're stupid for allowing themselves to be gouged. Now, this is Richard Grinnell, board member at Live Nation. He's a Trump toady. He worked in the Trump administration. He's the one who somehow took over the Kennedy Arts Center. And when asked
just
about
got fired. Yeah.
yes, well, yeah, is fired. I mean, I don't know how it works.
I mean, they
in that
closed
world.
the Kennedy Art Center. Yeah. So
He closed it.
Yeah.
But in response to a performer said, yes, I cut the DEI bullshit because they're woke and they don't make any money. But here's the thing I found yesterday, and I've never seen this before. We have this new stat that we cover called, what's it called? The Circumventing Democracy, where directors are appointed to the board right after the annual meeting, right?
Right.
Thereby
So they're
not giving
basically
shareholders a say.
incumbents by the next vote. Yeah.
Richard Grinnell was appointed to the Live Nation board on May 19th. The meeting was then on June 12th, but then he wasn't up for election. And it's not a classified board.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I
How
don't
do you
either.
appoint somebody? I guess they had already printed out the proxy.
They already
were
printed
like-
out the
and they're like, we can't go back to Kinko's.
But this
and
is
ask
the
them to
this is
print
the
it
same
again.
concept, but just really way more creepy, right?
This is so the stat we do the number of days since the AGM that the director was appointed, and we look at any director appointed inside of 30 days after the AGM ends. I did not create a stat for negative 20. I didn't put like how many days before the AGM where they don't get elected.
It's funny how this corporate governance world works. I remember Bob Monks back in the day giving us a speech, blah 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 blah, saying basically like, if you smell a rat, like look for it. And Elizabeth Warren gave a speech at the CII conference. She mentioned Live Nation, so I started to do a bunch of research on Richard Grinnell because on the board I wanted to put it into our live podcast. I didn't really get to it, but then I get to this. Like, it's not a surprise to me that the guy I'm focusing on does this horrible thing happens
this is the
to,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. In our gun manufacturers say, oh no, it's not the gun that kills people. It's the pesky bullets. Headline of the week. She spent 16 hours on Instagram in a day. It's up to a jury to decide if Meta is to blame. So there couldn't be an addiction there, right? There's no addiction.
Well, look, if I'm honest,
Yeah.
a gun that's not filled with bullets is. I mean,
Safe.
what can you do? You throw the gun at somebody?
Heavy.
I mean,
Still
like
heavy.
you could bruise yourself. but
So
it's
you
not
are
so
blaming
bad.
the bullets too.
It's obviously the bullets.
Now here's my most conceptual. You're gonna have to bear with me on this one. I struggled with this one for a while, so here we go. Ready?
You're supposed to blame our writing staff
The
so that
writing
you don't have
staff.
to take the credit.
I don't like to credit the writing staff anymore because they're lazy.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're on
In
strike.
our, she responded. You gotta really stay closer to this one.
Okay, I'm listening.
She responded to O with K.
Okay. Okay.
She's- She said J to D.
Okay. All right. DJ.
Yeah, I
I got it. You
And
but
she
you did it backwards though.
And she responded to F with a simple U. Headline of the week. Mary Barra still responds to every single letter she gets by hand, despite running $65 billion automaker General Motors.
See,
Every letter.
okay, no, it's not every. That's
Yeah,
the
every
single,
single
letter.
letter.
The single letter.
Yeah.
That is the most hyper focused.
Yeah.
Pun.
And here's where the writing team started with this: is that they wanted to do a joke about EV, right? EV, electric vehicles.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because she abandoned. They've all stupidly abandoned EVs,
So
but they
they
couldn't.
just
They couldn't work
abandoned-
out a joke.
they just
couldn't-
abandoned the letter V. That's the
yeah,
only
they
one
couldn't.
they
They
abandoned.
couldn't because they thought that OK and DJ and FU everyone knows, but when you say EV, people are like, I don't know, it didn't roll off the tongue. They
Let me tell
abandoned that
you.
joke. Yeah,
That joke would have killed
It's
at the
legendary.
Oscars. Yeah.
but not the CII conference. Finally, in my section, in our OpenAI chairman, who is that? It's Brett Taylor.
Is it?
Right?
Is there a chair?
Salesforce Brett Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And our OpenAI chairman admits it's painful watching AI replace his coding, less so watching it accelerate the collapse of global democracy. Headline of the week. No, this is true. This is what he said. This is a real headline. OpenAI chairman says it's hard emotionally to let AI write his code. Quote, I have a hard time not caring, end quote. This is this
like,
not
literally,
the most tone-deaf headline ever? I don't even know. I mean,
the, OpenAI right now is being sued for a mass shooting in Canada, of all places,
right?
Because the girl who shot people used ChatGPT to plan the whole thing. It was flagged by OpenAI as a problem, and OpenAI decided not to report it to anybody. And the chairman says, but it is really upsetting for it to recode the code that I wrote.
I don't know what's going on. I think that I read an article recently that suggested that, I think it was Anthropic. Is that Claude?
Yes, Dario Amodi, yeah, Claude.
Is the only chat AI engine that actually helped to stop violent events.
Some researchers found that when posing as a 13-year-old, only Claude, of all of them, like DeepSeek, the Chinese one, said happy shooting, right? Like Claude was the only one that refused to help and actually said you need to seek help, right? Like it tried to curb the behavior.
Just like if that person had said those thoughts to anyone in our culture, they'd say, okay, we got to get you help. We got to stop this.
I mean, we hold, like, if they had said that to, like, if they went to your barbecue and somebody was like, I'm planning on shooting a school, like, you would be held liable for not having reported it.
That's
but
what's weird about this.
ChatGPT, is it?
That's what's weird about this supposed, like, free speech absolutist tech bro culture is because, if they had gone up to Elon Musk and said, I'm going to kill all your family or whatever, I'm going to kill that schoolyard over there, he would have reported it. Or maybe he would report it. I don't even know what Elon Musk.
No, he'd probably have him arrested and then thrown in a
gulag. But if Grok listened to it, Grok would cheer it because that's manly, I guess.
I want to be clear. Yeah. The day that Amodi fought back against the Pentagon, and ChatGPT stepped in and signed a contract with the Pentagon.
Yeah, it was like immediately.
It was immediately. Yeah. And the thing that Anthropic refused to do was allow their AI to be used for lethal decision making. So if you're going to kill somebody, you can't use the AI to do it. It can't be autonomous drones.
NBC News already had a report that suggesting that it's highly likely that the reason why we bombed the Iranian school on the first day of the war was a misfire from the AI creating targets.
So already,
which if anyone who's used AI would believe in a second, right?
It fucking misfires everything.
Yes,
it doesn't say anything
absolutely.
True. And the second thing they wouldn't do was what was the other thing they wouldn't do? It was they won't kill anybody. It won't
wash windows.
No, it wouldn't be used for it was like the two most reasonable things possible. Now I'm blanking on the second one, but it's like you can't kill anybody with it, and you always need to get involved, like that kind of mass surveillance. That's what it was. It was mass surveillance.
Well, that's already happened.
The minute that happened, Free Float canceled its ChatGPT subscription.
That's true, actually.
Entirely.
Mine doesn't work anymore. That's true.
I stopped using Gemini, which they force Gemini on you because we're on Google products, but I stopped using Gemini entirely. I don't touch it anymore. I only use Claude. Claude's an asshole too, but I'm only using that.
But you still shop it.
The max enterprise value because I'm more than happy to pay them to at least moderately curb the death of society.
But you still get all your groceries at Target.
No, Stop and Shop only. Stop and Shop only.
Keep going.
All right.
Come on, let's end this.
Let's finish this out. In our proposals include a reduction in CEO pay ratio from 1,800 to 1 to 1,799 to 1.
I wish that was a proposal, yeah.
For my boss to stop calling me Carl when my name is Todd. Having a job. And not to have to take out my nose ring that I got in 1998. Headline of the week. Starbucks union sent the company a proposed contract. Here's what the baristas want.
They don't seem to. It's not so greedy what they want. But go ahead.
Here's what they wanted.
Yeah.
They wanted protections against discrimination and unjust firing.
Okay, that seems normal.
I mean, I think that's the law.
Shouldn't that already be a thing? But yeah, okay.
What do we put? Like they actually reduced their wage floor to $17 an hour from a prior proposal of $20.
That's upsetting to me, but I guess you got to do what you
So
got to
they
do.
want $1 more an hour than the current wage that in a number of states.
Which means that probably in most U.S. cities they won't be able to even live where they're serving coffee. But yeah,
they want annual raises of 4%,
which is
just
like what?
looks like
standard of
inflate that
living?
barely beats inflation.
Yeah, yeah.
They want a process for baristas, management, and union representatives to resolve workforce grievances.
Okay, that's very normal.
Can you stop calling me Carl? My name is Todd. Can I have a hotline where I can call?
Sure.
They want a dress code endorsed by the union.
Okay.
They
normal.
just want to say, and we don't have to. I don't have to shave my head.
Yeah,
to work here.
they're a part of the decision-making process. Sure.
A requirement for at least 3 workers on the floor at all times, and enforceable staffing and safety protection.
Well, yes, and especially since a lot of these are located in big cities, I would think that that's a very normal ask.
That's pretty normal. A mandate to offer open hours to existing employees before hiring new baristas.
Okay.
As in, we need hours filled. Can you offer
Treat
it
our
to the people
family
who
well.
work here
Yeah.
before you go get on another person? And a resolution of hundreds of outstanding unfair labor practice charges.
That's probably where Brian Nickel will be like, "Oh no, we're not doing that."
There are outstanding charges against the company
Yeah,
that
but he's
they've
not gonna- he doesn't wanna do
discriminated.
that.
They've done all. Just,
This is
can we
that's it.
resolve those?
This is
That's
all they're
it.
asking
that
for.
was the list.
This is crazy.
That was the list.
How
Where
is
the
Brian
fuck
Nickel?
Is the board?
How is Brian Nickel on the board not? Well, the board is Brian Nickel. He's the chair and the CEO. How is he not already taking this as a yes for the win?
I mean, that's an immediate yes.
He could market this as a huge win for
a huge win,
right?
Not only could he market it as a huge win, but he could go around talking about how Starbucks has the one is developing the closest relationship with its union of any restaurant chain. It's far ahead of its competitors. It treats its people with respect. We call them partners for a reason. You can see how this whole thing actually works out. But what is he doing instead?
I mean,
he's fighting
to give you like
he
a little
dissolve the fucking committee that's supposed to deal with this on the
give
board.
you a bit of context here. I live in a shabby state, a poor state, in a lame, dirty city, and our minimum wage by 2028 is going to be $19. So they're not even asking for. I mean, they're asking for sub our minimum wage,
less than the minimum wage 2 years from now.
Yeah, it's currently $16.75. It's going to go up $1 Yeah, I mean,
I mean, who doesn't? You're paying that anyway. For fuck's sake, what the hell are you doing?
Nuts. All right, well, come on, stop the ranting. Come on, let's have some fun. Come on.
But Sam Altman is sorry. Headline of the week. Professors say AI is destroying their students' ability to think.
Well, is he sorry, though? I think you took some liberties on that one.
He admits that he's sorry.
He admits that is concerning.
Yeah, it's sorry. I should have written that. The writers, I'm going to fire that writer.
He admits that the model did not predict that.
In our Don't Be Fooled, I'm Actually a Man headline of the week.
Ooh, I like this one.
CoStar Group appoints Nana Banerjee to its board of directors.
Nana.
Now, that's not the joke, because the joke's on us.
Yeah.
I pulled every TradeWire story. So Damien pulls stories, 10,000 stories. I think it's like 3,000 we actually land on, but looks at 10,000 stories a month.
In fact, so many that I don't even want to go on vacation anymore, because when I come back, there are too many to look.
So much stories. Yeah. But he pulls these stories and he tags them and he gives them categories. And one of the categories that we track is called TradeWire, and that's when board members come and go and CEOs and CFOs and people are moving all over the place all the time. I pulled just the last week. There were 69 stories in the last week that got press released for directors. Just directors, no CEOs, no CFOs. Director stories in the last week. There were 69 press releases. Some of these are public companies, some of them aren't. I counted. Out of the 69 press releases, 60 men were added to boards.
Really?
9 women were added to boards, and 1 woman left the board.
Wow. That's not good.
That was the last week. So don't be fooled. Nana is a man. He's in the man category.
Yeah, he's actually the former CEO of McGraw-Hill Education. I didn't know that.
I don't want you to be fooled.
All right. That was a weird one. That was a weird one. Come on, keep going.
In our building on Warren Buffett's innovative giving pledge, billionaire creates the rival taking pledge. Headline of the week.
Yeah.
Peter Thiel is actively convincing billionaires to abandon the giving pledge, and it's working.
Oh, God. Is that true? He's actually doing that?
He's going around telling people, what are you doing? Stop giving your money.
I mean, the fun twist to society is going to be, isn't he he's currently near the Vatican City, giving talks about the Antichrist, and he's yelling at the Pope because the Pope is too woke. Is there going to be a big reveal in the next few years where Peter Thiel does actually out himself as Satan? Is that what's going to happen? That would be a fun moment for our culture, wouldn't it?
You know what he's telling the billionaires? He's telling them that the Giving Pledge organization is a, quote, Epstein-adjacent fake boomer club.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of the world now. Yeah. Except that we don't usually expect it from the CEOs and major shareholders of our corporations, but yeah.
I mean, he was complaining that in the first 4 or 5 years, a lot of people signed up, and then it's lost energy since then.
Uh-huh.
But the goal is to give the money away before you die. So
Yeah.
you sign up, and it's not I'm 45 years old, I've signed up to the Giving Pledge. Where's the energy supposed to come from? There's only a couple hundred billionaires on the planet.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? He's literally the most evil human.
Yeah.
He's the Antichrist, isn't he?
I mean, that's the irony of his weird speeches.
All right, let's end this show because it's too long and it's
I feel
too
like we
depressing.
didn't. I feel like we missed some of the humor part of it.
Well, let me see if I can get it back with this one. I can't. In our when asked for comment, ISS asked if Nelson Peltz was involved. Headline of the week: the Coca-Cola Company announces Maria Elena Lagomasino will conclude her service on the board of directors.
I can't believe you ended on that one. I stared at the writing team stared at that one for a while, and they couldn't work anything out on my end. But you came through on that one.
I don't know if I came through. Came through is the wrong word. I did look at it and say, well, is this good for Disney? Because she was on the board of Coca-Cola with another Disney. She's on the board of Disney and on the board of Coca-Cola. She's staying on the board of Disney. She's leaving Coca-Cola, but also on the Disney board is another woman who's all on the Coca-Cola board. So they had an immediate conflict. She resolved the conflict by getting off of one of those boards. And I was like, how do I make that funny? And
yeah,
it wasn't.
No.
It was.
Before we wrap up, I want to make here was what I was thinking. This is from The Guardian. The PayPal mafia that you referred to, including Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, libertarian billionaires with roots in South Africa. So Peter Thiel, a German-born billionaire, educated in a South African city in the 1970s where Hitler was still openly venerated.
Yeah.
Which means worshipped if you're a dumbass.
That's
all
we got.
That's the background
Let's
of Peter
end on
Thiel
that.
and Elon Musk.
Let's end on that.
Oh, I feel
That's Hazelnut, Rollins, Damien to his mom. I'm your analyst, Whole Matt Moscardi, where whole is the real adjective worth paying attention to. We are Free Float. It's our Biz Nuggets show. We'll be back on Thursday. Hopefully, we're going to be able to release the CII tapes from the conference.
Come on,
and
release them.
on the proxy countdown.
Come on.
And Friday, we'll be back with a Friday show to wrap the week. Until then, good